Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday to you. Just thought I'd come back with a Zuni waffle garden slash propagation update here. Okay, so what has happened? This mint looks very, very sad. It's because I neglected it for a couple days. We had extraordinarily high winds and it was really sunny. And so this completely dried up in this little 3 or 4 inch cup here. And then the stem that I had used and snipped off the mother pretty much lost all of the leaves that were there. I totally thought it was dead, but I kept on just watering both of them, really, because these are mainly root-based plants where they store all their energy in the root system. And so I kept on watering in hopes that it would do something, and then lo and behold, it has spread to the entire bucket or planter or whatever you want to call this. There is one, two, here, let me zoom in here actually. Got a bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can see these ones here are in like a perfect straight line. It's most likely where the root system is just reaching towards the bucket edges. So how I would water this thing is I would take the hose and just open it wide up and kind of like spray the edges. And so I believe most of the water was gathering on the sides. And I noticed this one first, and then this one second. And I believe that the root system over here was searching water all the way to the edge, which is about 1.5 feet away. From my experience, I know that tumbleweeds can have at least 4-foot seeker roots for water. I've measured it. And so, awesome. Both of the mint plants now live. This one is going to get bigger so much faster than this tiny one. I'm going to go ahead and come back and cut well, let's see if I can just break it. Yep, there we go. Come back here, all these top ones are dead. That one still had a little life to it. This one, oh wow, that one is totally alive still. Let me just get all the dead stuff off then. Great. That smells good. Like Girl Scout cookies. Thin mints, to be specific. Well, where I'm from. Okay, so this is interesting. If we come here, this plant looked totally screwed, right? If we get all the dead stuff off, I was trying to snap these two big ones off like I did this one, which was totally dead, and it wasn't having it. But if we come in here, we can see that there's life right here. It's still green. It's alive. Over here, all the way up top, it started producing new leaves underneath the dead ones from this growth node right here. Same with this one back here, totally flourishing. And pretty much every other branch had new growth. Wow, this did a lot better than I thought upon inspection. Mint is amazing. I wish I could like have mint take over this entire property too. It would smell amazing when the wind blows constantly. Okay. Mint's amazing. Very resilient. Can straight up handle brink of death and come bouncing back with ferocity. Next up, the inside of the garden. Hey, alright, well I guess it wouldn't be considered a propagation update unless I gave a little update on the greenhouse that we built, the mini one, based off Hollis and Nancy's homestead that they made for theirs, and it's doing great. The hardest thing for me is to come back in here and remember to do it, to be honest with you. I have so many little things going on. I like set myself reminders on my phone and stuff, like water. But, okay, so this is a combination of what I call plant rescues from the big box stores, which go on clearance, and a bunch of stuff that I've grown from seeds. So everything in the brown, little round cups, I have grown, and everything in like the big black thing with the barcode I've bought. Over here, we have sage. In the back, it looks like it's a pepper plant of some kind. It was dead, but as I said a million times, plants are resilient. Here, I think we have another banana pepper plant or something. These are way, way too old. They need to be in the ground. You can tell that because that's a little zucchini or cucumber or whatever. Time to get these in the ground. I need to make another garden. At a time. Okay, back here we have catnip. That's the crazy one that's just bountiful. And some lemon balm, which is this green one right here. Bianca loves this stuff. Smells incredible. They use that as an insect repellent, actually. So if you're having problems with some insects, plant a bunch of lemon balm. We also have some really pretty flowers back there. Those are rescues. No clue what they are, but they're gorgeous. Tomatoes. Second tier. Basil's doing great. All this stuff here, these look like cucumber family or some type of squash, already have their flowers. Definitely need to get those transplanted. See, that's what I can do. I can grow these things, but I'm always behind on transplanting. Maybe I just need to become a nursery, huh? This stuff right here with the bright red stalks. Okay, sorry. These are sweet peppers. Right here is amaranth. This very vibrant red stalk. We can tell if we look up here at the seeds, how they're starting to spiral over and are very vibrant red. It's amaranth. You can eat every single part of the plant. It also gets 4 feet tall and looks gorgeous. Back here is more squash, more other stuff. Some dead cat grass, it's called. And some marigolds, which I've killed like 3 times, but they keep coming back. And whoop, too many bottles from the wind here. Bottom tier, all my supplies, especially snacks. Okay, so this is a lot of stuff to water, and I'm very bad about it. And there's tons of trays. Each tier can hold 14 trays. And the problem I had is it's not really accessible from the back yet, because we just had to like close it in for the wind. And so I can't like reach all the way back to water it. So instead, because I'm crazy, I came up with like the Medusa watering system. It's basically like a giant header that splits off to 3 levels and then has a whole bunch of snake heads coming off every column. And so I have 2 for the front and back, move over, 2 for the front and back. And then by doing that, I can pretty much synchronously water a tier at a time. I know I could do it with sprayers and stuff, but this wood isn't like treated for water and everything, and I don't want to destroy it in the first season. So I have a 60-gallon, 65-gallon ag tank that I have hooked up to a pump that's powered by a battery that I hook a solar panel up to. Then a switch, and it primes everything. I also add like kelp juice and minerals to that to help all my seedlings. It's doing really nice. Okay, so it looks like I have the top on and the others off, and so I'm just going to go here and I basically make sure all the heads are watering, and I just kind of wait here and let it run for a few, and it resupplies every tray that I have with water. And that's how come all this stuff has stayed alive with my style of neglect, because there would be no way if I had to hand water it. And then I'll just wait here a couple minutes, go do something else, or honestly just fiddle with it and look at all the plants. And then I'll move to the second tier, do the same thing, and then that's it. I don't have a third tier yet because, believe it or not, man, these 10 by 20 trays, they're called, are expensive. I'm having to order them en masse, and it's about 35 bucks at a time for 20 of them. Oh, terrible. But they're reusable, so it's a necessary purchase. But that's why it's taken me a while. I spend money on other things. This one's off because there's nothing in here, it looks like. This one doesn't need any more water. Alright, here we are inside of the Zuni waffle garden, test garden. It's about half Zuni waffle, half test garden. So, this is an unknown plant. I got it from being a member of the Arbor Day Foundation. They sent me 10 different species of flowering bushes / trees. I'm just letting it grow. It's doing great. It's about a year old or so. It has 4 mains coming up that are about as big as my pinky. I'm just growing them in buckets, by the way. They haven't lived anywhere else their whole life. This is a red currant plant that I'm trying to grow it as sort of a test. The red currant is my mom's favorite scent ever. She loves red currant candles, red currant this and that. And they're all extraordinarily expensive, like ridiculously so. And I have some basic experience with doing steam distillation and cracking of, I guess you could say, fruits and stuff to get the essential oils out of them. And what's called the effuse, which is what's used in perfumes and stuff like that has all the scent in it. So I haven't figured out if it's the leaf that has the scent or the stem or the berry, but that's what this is for, red currant. Just got it at Lowe's, I think, for like 10 bucks one day or something. Also just lives in a bucket its whole life. All this stuff has come to the brink of extinction and come bouncing back. This is a strawberry. It is doing great and spreading. All this like cover crop stuff that's popping up was just mixed in here. I'm just letting it be. Nitrogen fixers are beneficial for anything that has this much green. Green onions are doing great here. Got the seed bags on them still. They're not as mature or far along as the other ones coming up here that have all their seed popped out, but hopefully soon. I also was originally going to get these for cutting and eating, but I just let them go and never do. This here, have no idea what it is, but it's struggling. And it also might be starting to flower. It has nice orange and red green colors. And this at the bottom here is some sort of native succulent with little yellow flowers that are closed currently. But it just popped up at the base of the tree. I said, why not? Looks great. My asparagus here is currently doing amazingly. I got one spear of asparagus I picked the other day, and it took about a day and a half to send out another spear here. But yeah, I guess whoops, I just messed up the brightness. In commercial production, you can harvest asparagus twice a day. So this is another thing that's energy system is all in the roots, and it just keeps on sending up stuff that you can pick. The asparagus plant uses the ferning out of a spear, like if you let this go too long, it will turn into something like this, to store energy in the root system and make more asparagus plants. Yeah. So it's doing great. Also, bucket its whole life. Now over here, on this corner, I always need to clean up, but man, this thing that I had no clue what was is absolutely beautiful. It just has a ton of these silky, feathery tip flowers. Not sure exactly what it is. I need to check against it. One app told me it was a rose family, but I don't necessarily know if that's correct. We'll see. Couldn't tell you. The self-seeding of the flowers, however, is working great. So eventually, this whole thing's going to be covered in flowers that are beneficial. That's all I know, is I planted specifically beneficial flowers here. These are the other, I think these are called Egyptian onions, but I just call them green onions. They have a ton of their seed in there. Look at that, all the black on the bottom. See that? I've got these seed bags catching them. Eventually, after they drop all their seed, I'm just going to come snip this here, tilt the bag upside down, get all of them out, and then I will have a ton of seed for next year. This is a really cool way of capturing seed. It's the first time I've really done it on plants that I have grown successfully without them getting flying away or torn away, so it's awesome. This right here, it looks like a grass, but it's actually chives. It used to be perfectly round, but apparently so much time has passed. See that little crease there? It's like opened up the tube, and now it's like a flat grass, but it still smells exactly like chive onions when you crush it up. Yeah, put it right on a baked potato. This right here is thyme. I'm still fighting all these little things that pop up inside there, but that's life. It's thriving. I can't believe how much it is. I got a little yellowing going on here. I think that might be because I just gave it some nutrients and it might have been a little too much nitrogen. But, wow, it's just doing great. This is one of the things I'm going to try to sell at farmer's market, or part of the local co-op, is just fresh herbs. Got something, cocoons of some kind. I wanted to try to capture the thyme seed. It's incredibly small, but gotta wait a while, you know. I picked this down to where there's hardly a stub of thyme left, and it's already grown so big again, almost ready for harvest. I think I'm gonna try to do it before they completely all go to flower again. So harvest is soon. Alright, this side is pretty much just the random test side. I had a couple carrots I pulled. They didn't do anything at all. This, I swear it's chicory. I have no clue, but it's absolutely beautiful and I love it. I hope that it just spreads a bunch of seeds that I can capture soon, because I'll be planting this a lot. It's really nice. I love the flower. Let me see if I can focus on the flower here. There we go. They have really interesting centers. Scythe blade I got for 20 bucks at a yard sale. You're looking at Brussels sprouts, believe it or not. This is seed stage. Some of them are starting to pop open, and I think I've never done this before, so I'm learning with the rest of us. As I just know this is a Brussels sprout. I've been checking the seeds. They're definitely changing. They have all these brown tips and everything. I'm not sure if that means they're starting to dry out and they should pop open, and then all the brassica seeds will pop out. But they've changed a lot, because if you look over here, these are like a light green still. And then these go to a yellow with a brown tip. I have 2 plants right here. One of them's really small. That one's pretty big. Got one over in the corner doing the same thing back there. And then 2 more. Way too many Brussels sprouts plants. I was just trying to see what was going to happen. Now this is interesting because it's way past time for this thing to be dying, but it still has some green down here like it's trying to hold on. I'm just going to kind of let it do whatever. This is where I had snipped off one of the stalks and brought it over to the neighbor when it was still in flower. That's pretty much all I got. It's doing great. It's a test garden, and it's a lot of fun. I definitely suggest Zuni waffle method and neglect. You learn a lot about the plants and what they need to stay alive, which is not much. I think that's all I have for this morning. I just wanted to update you on the little that's going on there. It's a beautiful overcast day here. I hope you have a beautiful Friday. It's only 70 degrees for me today, down from like 100. I'm so excited. Have a great weekend. Gah, I almost forgot the calendulas. They're doing great.